Now, nobody knew that from looking at a protein bar, but our marketing material was about that. We didn't do features and benefits. We said, stop sacrificing.
Rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day. That's a third of your life.
Hey, where do I start? And when's the best time to start? I have a very simple answer for that. Here and now.
To you, to the person who's feeling like there's no hope, that you can't see a way out of your current situation or circumstance, I want to say first that I'm sorry that you're going through whatever trial it is that you're going through right now. It's not fair and you don't deserve it, but there is hope on the other side of this trial. I want you to think about those feelings, those times where you felt happiness.
We said you should hold food companies to a new standard. It's ridiculous that food companies aren't engineering new equipment to make food that's both good for you and delicious. It's just ridiculous. Nobody's held their feet to the fire. People have been buying the same junk products for years. They're not going to change unless you force them to. And so we came along and said, we're going to be the bearer of standards. We know why we're doing what we're doing. So I can't release a product that has sugar in it. Why? Because that's not going to end metabolic disease, and that is my driver. I show up to work every day not thinking about making it rain and counting my money. I'm not swimming in it like Scrooge McDuck. I'm coming every day thinking about two people, my mom and my sister.
It ain't but 24 hours in a day. You cannot be sleep 8 hours a day. You can't live in LA and wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast. The stock market been open 2 hours. They already making decisions about your life, and your ass was sleep.
You gotta be willing to work off for 3 hours and sleep 2 hours. If you really wanna be successful, some days you're gonna have to stay up 3 days in a row. Because if you go to sleep, you might miss the opportunity to be successful. That's how bad you gotta want it.
Your existence is not by accident. Your existence has so much meaning. Are you ready to take on the unknown? Are you prepared for it?
When people say we don't have the time, we have 24 hours a day.
And I ask a very simple question. Is this advantageous for my mom and my sister? Yes or no? If it is, I do it. If it's not, I don't. Now, a lot of times, what's advantageous for my mom and my sister was really fucking expensive. It was super annoying to have to do it. Because it was like you watch a profit margins like, oh God. But it becomes an easy filter. And every business has to have a filter. Every business needs to know what they say yes to and what they say no to. And if you don't have that blinding guiding light, when you scale, you will fall apart. And the reason you will fall apart, your customers won't know who you are. They won't know how to communicate your message to somebody else. Your employees won't know who you are. They won't know what to communicate to each other, let alone the outside world. So it has got to be blinding. You have to be able to write it down. It has to be super clear. It's got to be direct, and it's got to be meaningful. And it has to be real. It's got to actually be something that drives you.
There was not one single minute that I wasted. And this is why I'm standing here today.
You're waiting for all the situations to come together perfectly, and I'm telling you, you cannot wait. You got to start working right now.
Don't compare yourself to people that you feel are more qualified than you. Don't compare yourself to people that you think that are more talented than you. Don't compare yourself to other people's giftings. At the end of the day, hard work works.
You get to choose whether or not you will pursue peace or toss and turn at night because you're not seeing the results that you desire to see.
You will fail in your comfort zone. Success is not a comfortable procedure.
One off day can switch, it can turn everything around. You ever watch a match before? 1 point could change the course of history. Just one extra point.
You have got to recognize the possibilities within you.
Where you felt joy, where you experienced love in a way that you never thought you'd be able to experience. And I want you to hold on to those moments and think about your future and think about having those moments of love and joy and laughter and peace again. And I want you to know that right now, it's just a trial. It's just a test.
You want to improve? You want to get better? Where do you start? You start right here. And when do you start? You start right now. You initiate the action aggressively. You go. The idea isn't going to execute itself. And the book isn't going to write itself. And the weights out in the gym, they're not going to move themselves. You have to do it, and you have to do it now. You got to stop thinking about it and stop dreaming about it and stop researching every aspect of it and reading all about it and debating the pros and cons of it. Just start doing it. Take that first step and make it happen. Get after it.
If you find your passion, you're going to have this tremendous energy. It's sustainable energy. But momentum requires you always do the next thing to keep the momentum going. And the reason you get yourself in a passionate place is so that you change your life. And the only thing that changes your life is making a decision. So while you're in this passionate state, that's where you make decisions. You don't make decisions when you're like, oh, I don't know. What do you think? All right, let's decide. If you make a decision in a state without momentum, if you make a decision from a place where there's no passion, you are not going to get momentum. It'll kill momentum. It's decide, commit, and resolve. Some of you, in the past, you've gotten momentum. You've gotten passionate. You've even made a decision.
The things that seem to hurt you and make you feel like you can't put one step in front of the other. It's just something that's going to happen to make you stronger. You don't have to get from how you're feeling right now to immediate joy and laughter. It might take time, but all I'm asking you to do is put one foot in front of the other and grasp onto that hope with everything that you have and know that this too shall pass.
Discipline means taking the hard road, the uphill road, to do what's right. So often the easy path that calls to us to be weak for that moment, to break down for that moment, to give in to the desire and the short-term gratification. But the discipline will not allow that. The discipline calls for strength and fortitude and will. It won't accept weakness. It won't tolerate another breakdown. Discipline can seem like it's your worst enemy, but the reality is, discipline is your best friend. It will take care of you like nothing else can. Then it'll put you on that path to freedom.
We lie to ourselves.
But a decision is the first step. Decision is like a war. I got to do this or that. All right, I'm going to make myself do this. But commitment is when you now, after you've decided, you commit to do this for the long term. Whether it's hard or easy, doesn't matter. You're doing this. It takes it from this moment and it carries it into the future even when things are difficult. And the third state is resolve. Resolve means it's done. It's like, it doesn't even if you took action, it's done inside you, so it's done out there. There's no question whatsoever. Then once you decide, the only way the commitment and the energy and the momentum continues is if you take immediate, massive what, my friends? Massive what? Write down in your notes, massive action is the cure-all. Massive action is the cure-all.
I'm rooting for you. When you think about what you want of life where you want. To make your mark, you have to start figuring out who you are, and so my first step is always to figure out who you are. Where can you be great? And when you do that, you have to put the blinders on. Don't look at anyone else, because nobody else can tell you how to be you.